But we're getting some political blowback now. As you know, Sherrod Brown, the senator from Ohio, wrote a letter to Jay Powell. It's followed by Mr. Hickenlooper, senator from Colorado, saying, you know, we shouldn't give up these gains we've had in employment and progress we've made in the name of fighting inflation. Are we going to see more and more of that political pressure, do you think?
So I think there are 2 points. The first is that the political pressure is a counterproductive strategy from the point of view of those who launch it. Frankly, the Fed doesn't listen, and if anything, feels more pressure to prove its independence. So they don't influence short-term rates and what the Fed actually does, but they do raise questions in the mind of market participants, and they raise long-term rates. So political pressure is a fool's game and actually probably makes financial conditions tighter than they otherwise would be. And that's entirely apart from the merits of the argument being made. I yield to no one in how much I loathe unemployment and want unemployment to be as low as it possibly can be over time. The concern is that, as in the 1970s, if we don't contain inflation, we set the stage for much more financial instability and unemployment. And that is the argument that has to be made by those who are on the dovish side. They say that the Fed is going to be counterproductive and overdo it. A corollary of that view is that they should think either that the Fed should abandon its 2% target or that they're going to push inflation below 2. And I think it would be helpful if every critic of the Fed were asked exactly that question. Are they really saying that 2% inflation should not be the goal, in which case they should describe what their attitude is towards inflation and how they expect it to work out over time? Or are they expressing the view that the Fed is acting so strongly that it's going to produce so large a recession that inflation is going to fall below 2? Something I think is very unlikely, and if you look at market pricing, I think is regarded as very unlikely. So I really don't have much regard for the critics at this point, especially the political critics, because I think the political critics really do risk counterproductivity, as they don't influence the Fed in the short run and they reduce credibility in the long run, leading to increases in rates.